Okay, so growing up as a resident in Fort Wayne, it seems like there's nothing to do here. A lot of teenagers and even adults don't realize how much potential Fort Wayne holds. For CBS in Movoto.com, Fort Wayne's listed as the 5th most boring city in all of the United States. We're here today to excite Fort Wayne residents, encourage tourists to come and visit us, and prove Movoto and CBS wrong.
Why we need Amazing Grace Fort Wayne. New tourist attraction, encourage past residents to move back here, their hometown, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Prove that Fort Wayne isn't boring and get people to stay.
Okay, so some of the details about our race. The race will take place in November. Now, this is one of the reasons our race is unique, is because it takes place in the winter. In our opinion, a lot of Fort Wayne's personality is shown in the winter through the Comets and Headwaters Park ice skating rink, and our teams will consist of 4 to 6 members. These members will be from 13 years old to 65 years old. There will be a $15 registration fee per person until all the spots get filled up, and the modes of transportation we are using are walking, running, car, and bus. Now, we are trying to get CityLink on board to letting us use a few buses for the race to get their name out there and to have them be involved in our Fort Wayne Amazing Race. We are trying to prove that Fort Wayne can be an exciting place and not as boring as everybody sees it to be.
Our first detour is Headwaters Park. Our physical test is teams must find all statues in Headwaters Park in less than 30 minutes. Our mental test, team must learn how to correctly pronounce Chief Little Turtle's real name.
Our second detour will be at the Old Fort. Our physical task is that teams will have to army crawl from one side of the fort to the next, but if they don't know how to army crawl, they can just crawl regularly. Our mental task is to answer questions about the Old Fort in 5 minutes, such as when was the Old Fort reconstructed. The third will take place at the History Center. The physical task, teams will have to draw artifacts they see and numbers that they guess what it is in 5 minutes. When the time runs up, move on. Mental task, teams will explain a little about the history the museum contains and name some of the artifacts they're looking at the back.
Okay, so our next detour will be Coney Island. And the reason we chose Coney Island is because it's a fantastic way for participants to learn all about the culture and history of Fort Wayne. The physical task is one participant will have to make 20 Coney dogs in the correct order and way that Coney Island makes them. Our mental task is team members must find 10 aspects as to why the building now is the same as it was when it was built in 1914.
Our next detour will be up north at the landing, which is also known as the Columbia Street. Our physical task would be each team member must go into each store and greet the people who work there and start off with a short conversation. And if the owner isn't there, just move on to the next job. And this all has to be done under 6 minutes. Mental test. One team member must learn and memorize all the stores that used to be at the landing. They will have to recite them to a representative to get the next clue. Our sixth detour will be at the Fort Wayne Museum of Art. While visiting the Museum of Art, one will learn about the cultural artworks and the historic art classes, which were first taught in 1888 by J. Otis Adams and later by William Ford. Physical test. Team must race each other while carrying an object in their hand, and our mental test would be one team member must match an artist's painting, and if they get one wrong, they start all over.
Allen County Public Library downtown. For physical task, teams must find a representative that will lead them to a box that is in the kids' area. There will be a book that has another location in coordinates. Mental task, team must go into a globe inside the library. There will be a clue that will lead them to the next location.
Okay, so our next detour is at Parkview Field. And Parkview Field is a great way to show the culture of Fort Wayne. The physical task is team members will make 3 trips around the bases, and then they will go around the stadium and track down our very own Johnny Tincap, who will give them their next clue. The mental task is teams will have to match pictures of 3 logos and mascots of other minor league baseball teams and match them to what city they are.
Bollinger Freeman Botanical Conservatory. While visiting the Botanical Gardens, one will get to see the beauty of Fort Wayne come to life. It contains a seasonal showcase garden, a tropical oasis display with a waterfall, Soaring Desert Display, an outdoor terrace and exploration garden. This is a roadblock. The roadblock is team members will have to correctly explain what the flowers' names are and what they represent, such as the red rose equals love.
Our next stop will be our Fort Wayne Children's Zoo. While visiting one of the best children's zoos in America, one will experience and learn about the history of all their unique animals and creatures. This is a roadblock. Teams must learn and memorize 3 birds and then name them in order in which they were discovered.
Okay, our next stop will be at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum for our very own Fort Wayne Comets play. Our physical task is the teams will put on skates and try to attempt 10 goals against our 3-year Comet goalie, Pat Nagel. And our mental task is teams will look at pictures of Comet jerseys that were worn in the past and try to match them up to the year that they were played in.
And our last detour is Fox Island. Physical task, team must see who can make it through the whole trail with snowshoes on the fastest. Mental task, team must find the exact year Fox Island was found for free.
Do we have any questions about our race so far?
For our conclusion, we are trying to encourage tourists to visit here, show teenagers that Fort Wayne isn't as boring as they imagine it, highlight some Fort Wayne famous spots such as the History Museum, Old Fort, statues, and stuff like that, and to prove Fort Wayne is not boring and is an exciting place to be. And that is the end of our presentation.
Good job, guys.